Hello guys, welcome back to my channel English Academy. Guys, please like, share, follow, comment and subscribe the channel. Guys, in this video we will explain the fourth stanza of the poem Ode to the West Wind. Guys, before explaining the fourth stanza of the poem, once again in short I am going to tell about the poet, theme of the poem and the first three stanzas of the poem. Guys, you know that Shelley was a revolutionary poet. He was born at the time when common people were suffering under the tyranny, injustice, and oppression of the political rulers. Guys, Shelley was a revolutionary by nature. He had a great sympathy for the suffering mankind, so he wanted to bring about a revolution in the society as well as in the politics of his times. The French Revolution also greatly affected by him. It was a revolution based on the democratic principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Guys, Shelley wanted to abolish the old political orders and establish a new order in its place. But for his revolutionary enthusiasm, Shelley was banished from his home as well as from his country. Guys, after his banishment from his country, he had to live like a prisoner at Florence in Italy. Guys, all his freedom was taken away from him. Now he was leading a life of misery and frustration. But he never gave up the dream of new social and political systems. He always hoped that the time will come when mankind shall be free from tyranny, injustice, and oppression of the political rulers. Guys, now we must know about the first three stanzas of the poem Ode to the West Wind. Guys, in the first stanza of the poem, Shelley has presented the west wind as a destroyer and preserver. He says that when the west wind blows over the earth, it carries away the dead and the rotten leaves with it. The dead leaves fly before the west wind as the ghosts fly before the magicians. Guys, the poet also says that the west wind also taken away with it the seeds scattered on the fields. During the winter season, the seeds lie buried under the ice like dead bodies in their graves. He says that when the spring wind blows, the same seeds grow into plants. As a result, all the plains and hills are covered with beautiful, fragrant, and multicolored flowers. Thus, the west wind also acts as a preserver on the earth. Shall I praise to such a wind to hear him all to hear him. Guys, in the second stanza of the poem, the poet describes the effects of the west wind over the sky and the ocean. He says that when the west wind blows in the sky, it brings a storm there. The loose clouds fly with the west wind towards the horizon. Then the whole sky is covered with the rainy clouds. As, as a result, rain, lightning, and hail fall on the earth. Then Sally says that the west wind disturbs the silence of the Mediterranean Ocean. Guys, in the third stanza of the poem, the poet describes the effects of the west wind over the Mediterranean Sea. He says that when the west wind disturbs the silence of the Mediterranean Ocean, the high rising waves of the Atlantic Ocean make arched gates for the welcome of the west wind. The effect of the west wind is also felt at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. They lived at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, at once recognized the voice of the west wind. Guys, now we will explain the fourth stanza of the poem. Guys, the fourth stanza of the poem is autobiographical in itself. It is about Sally himself. It describes how miserable and frustrated was Sally after his banishment from England. Guys, when he was banished from England, all his freedom was now taken away from him. He lived in Florence like a prisoner bound in chains. There was such a heavy weight of sorrows on his head. He was like a man fallen on thorns and who bleeds. Guys, it start now. If I were a dead dead leaf, though my taste were, if I were a swift clouds to fly with thee, a wave to pant beneath thy power and share, the impulse of thy strength only less free than thou, O uncontrollable, if even I were as in my boyhood and could be the comrades of thy wandering over heaven, as then when to outstrip thy sky speed. Scars seemed a vision I would never have striven. As thus with thee in prayer in my sore need. O lift me as a wave, a leaf, a cloud. I fall upon the earthstones of life, I bleed. A heavy weight of hours has chained and bound one to like thee, timeless and swift and proud. Guys, before explaining the stanza, first of all, we must know about the meaning of one by one word of the line. If I were a dead leaf, thou mightest wear. Guys, in the first, guys, mightest means strong, strongest. Bear means to take away. If I were a dead leaf, thou mightest wear. Guys, in this line, the poet says that the poet, if I were a dead leaf, thou mightest wear. Guys, you know that this stanza is autobiographical in itself. In this line, the poet imagines that if I were a dead leaf, I would fly with the west wind. Next line, if I were a swift clouds to fly with thee. Guys, swift means quickly. In the, if I were a swift cloud to fly with thee. Guys, in this line, the poet also imagines that I were a quickly clouds and I would fly with the west wind. Guys, in this line, the poet also used the literary terms transferred epithets. Guys, transferred epithets is a figure of speech. Guys, transferred epithet is when an adjective usually used to describe one thing is transferred to another. Guys, in other words, you can say that transfer epithet is a word or phrase which describes the main quality of someone or something. Guys, you may also say that transfer epithet is when the adjective is transferred to a different noun. Guys, in this line, the clouds are not moving quickly. Here the west wind is blowing in a quickly manner. So here the poet uses the transferred epithet. Next line is that a wave to pant beneath thy power and share. Guys, pant means breathe, beneath means below or under. Guys, in this line the poet also says that If I were a wave, he would leave the power of the west wind. Next line, the impulse of thy strength only less free. Guys, impulse means strong feelings. Guys, in this line, the poet compares his strong feelings with the power of the west wind. Then, though, O uncontrollable, if even. Guys, in this next line, guys, in this line, the poet says that then thou uncontrollable if even. Guys, the poet says that the west wind is a very powerful force and it cannot be controlled by any person, any things in the world. I were as in my boyhood and could be the comrades of thy wandering over heaven. As, guys, comrade means companion. As then when to outstrips thy sky speed. Guys, in this line, guys, you know that the Sally was in miserable condition when he was banished from England. Now he lives in Italy and he was in very depressed mood. He was weak and broken and says to the west wind, you are very powerful. I were as in my boyhood and could be. In this line, the poet imagines that if he could be a boy, he would run with the west wind, but he is no longer a boy. So he prays to the west wind to help him. The comrades of thy wandering over heaven. Guys, in this line, the poet says to the west wind that I want to be your companion and want to fly with you in the sky. Next line is that as then went to outstrip thy sky speed. Guys, in this line, the poet asks to the west wind, I want to run away with the speed of the west wind. Scars seemed a vision I would never have striven, as thus with thee in prayer in my sorry need. O lift me as a wave, a leaf, a cloud. Guys, in this line, the poet says that all his dreams are shattered and also addresses the west wind and asks the west wind to save him by lifting him like a dead leaf, a flying cloud, or a rising wave, and to let him share its strength. Guys, next line is that I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. Guys, in this line, the poet says describes about his helpless situation. He feels that his untamable spirit has been at last hampered. He feels that it has been crushed by the burden of these sufferings throughout his lives. Guys, guys, you know that the poet feels that he is bleeding, he is broken and helpless, but he has not lost all his hope. And praise to the west wind and praise to the wild spirit of the west wind to lift him and sustain him. Next line is that a heavy weight of hours has chained and bowed. Mm. Weight means, guys, weight here, weight means burden. Chained means, sorry, hours means of sorrows on his head that cannot even reach it. Bowed means bent down. Guys, a heavy weight of hours has chained and bowed. Guys, in this line, the poet describes about himself that he suffered heavily in life for his violation of customary love. He was even denied the guardianship of his own children. He feels that his untamable spirit has been at last hampered. He feels that it has been crushed by the burden of these sufferings throughout his life. Guys, last line is that one too like thee tameless and swift and proud. Guys, in this line, Sele is self-conscious and he thinks that he is tameless, impetuous and proud as the west wind in itself. So guys, we studied about the stanza. Guys, now we explain the whole stanza. If I were a dead leaf, thou mightest wear. If I were a swift cloud to fly with thee, a wave to pant beneath thy power and share, the impulse of thy strength only less free. Then, though uncontrollable, if even I were is in my boyhood and could be. The comrades of thy wandering over heaven, as then vain to outstrip thy sky speed. Scars seemed a vision I would never have striven, as thus with thee in prayer in my sore need. Oh, lift me as a wave, a leaf, a cloud. I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. A heavy weight of hours has chained and bound. Once to like thee, tameless and swift and proud. Guys, you know that here in this stanza the poet preached. Guys, in this whole stanza the poet describes about himself. This stanza also describes how miserable and frustrated was Shelley after his banishment from England. All his freedom was now taken away from him. He lived in Florence like a prisoner bound in chains. There was such a heavy weight of sorrows on his head. He was like a man fallen on the thorns and who bleeds. And he prays to the west wind to lift him from the earth and impart him its energy so that he may be able to break through the restraints and become light and fleet like the leaf clouds waves under the wind's impulse. The appeal is all the more significant if it is remembered that by his nature as he is as wild, free, and tameless as the uncontrollable wind itself. Guys, in this stanza, the note of personal pessimism sounded here is quite a characteristic of Shelley, who was especially afflicted on this occasion by many untoward circumstances. Thanks so much all of you guys for watching the video. Guys, don't forget to like the video. Thank you.